Hello and welcome to the JA More Than Money Session 3 Volunteer Resource video. In this session, students identify the basic steps for building a small business and develop a basic business plan. Before class, prepare a story or experience about a time in your childhood when you sold a homemade good or set up a stand to earn money. As class begins, greet the students and pass out the Session 3 flyers. Present the vocabulary flashcards and introduce the idea of planning to students. Then transition to the concept of a business plan. Ask the students to recall the small business ideas they had in Session 2 and what it would require to make those plans happen. Have some of the students share their ideas. Show the 5 W's business plan poster and explain that all businesses need to consider these questions to get started. Ask students to read aloud the 5 what, who, when, where, and why questions on the poster. Ask them to think about these questions as you read aloud the comic strip in the flyer. Then, as you review each question, ask students how Ida answered the 5 W's for her business. You may need to allow a few moments for students to volunteer and answer. It's okay to have silence in the class while students consider. Don't provide the answer to students too quickly. Then tell the students they should answer these same questions about their own business ideas. Give them a couple of minutes to write down their responses in their flyers. Now that they've completed the 5 W's of basic business planning, tell the class that they will need to think more about how to get their business started and relate back to Ida from the comic strip. Display the business plan poster and point out Ida's business plan, explaining that there are 2 parts, startup costs and business information. Note that side 2 of this poster is not available as a digital asset because you'll be writing on it. Walk the students through Ida's startup costs, having them brainstorm together as a class. As students respond to your questions, write in their answers on the poster in the appropriate spaces. And follow the presentation tips in the volunteer guide to come up with reasonable numbers for item quantities and costs. Guide the students' discussion so that the suggested numbers make sense. After completing Ida's business plan, each student should create a business plan based on the small business they want to create. Give them 10 minutes to work. If necessary, due to time or student maturity level, you may decide instead to work on a single business plan as a class or to have the students work in pairs. As you wrap up, ask a few students to share what they learned. Remind them that people create and build businesses based on what they like to do and what they're good at. Tell students when you will return and preview that next time they'll continue running their business and discover why businesses need banks and credit unions to help their business grow. Remember to collect the materials for use in the next session and thank students for their good work today. This concludes the Session 3 video. Thank you for being a Junior Achievement volunteer.